401k and Roth IRA maxed out, what else can I invest in that maintains some liquidity? Where are people parking their money once 401k and Roth IRA are maxed out? All my additional money is safely in a high yield at 5.15, but curious if anyone has some moderately safe investments that might earn more. I do have $10,000 parked in I-bonds that will most likely be converted to T-bills depending on rates at year's end. Edit. Thanks everyone for the advice. I put a little money every month into a taxable brokerage index fund. It's liquid but goes up with the market. What's the timeline? If it's anything more than 5 years, I have no problem with an SP index fund. Do you have an IRA? You can stash money in here for retirement. All my additional money is safely in a high yield at 5.15, but curious if anyone has some moderately safe investments that might earn more. What are you looking for exactly? Anything deviating from a risk-free investment will introduce risk. Taxable brokerage account invested in tax-advantaged and/or tax-free securities. Do you qualify for HSA? Just open a regular brokerage account and feed an ETF or mutual fund that tracks the SP 500. You may find these links helpful. 401k Fund Selection Guide, Our Personal Finance Wiki. 401k Funds, 401k FAQs, Our Personal Finance Wiki. 401k How to Handle Dollar, Our Personal Finance Wiki. Common topics. I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit. Message compose to Our Personal Finance if you have any questions or concerns. Check if your 401k plan allows after-tax non-Roth contributions with Roth conversion. The actual max for a 401k, inclusive of company match and after-tax contributions, is actually $66,000. With this method and the ability to use the Roth conversions, I have been able to sock away an extra $30,000 a year that has been converted to Roth. Unfortunately, there are caps in place based on my plan and other IRS income limits which prevent me from hitting the full $66,000 annually. Regardless, nearly doubling my 401k contributions has really made me feel like I'm actually saving enough for retirement. HSA can serve as a decent investment vehicle while covering the most common financial emergency. Also, take a look at Mega Backdoor Roth if your plan supports it. Go for an HSA. Max that out. $3,750 for single, $7,500 for family. Any money from that after the 61 or 65, I would look up that age, can be pulled out free of charge for any purpose. I have a Mega Backdoor Roth in addition to my 401k, so I started socking money into that. What high yield do you use? I'm lazy, so I just dump it in money market SPAC for fidelity. I'm sure I can get slightly higher rates, but this is the easiest. What bank is paying 5.15 in HISU, if you don't mind me asking? Short-term bond and T-bill ETFs, i.e. T-bill, SHV, VGSH, VCSH, etc. for a safe yield, some long-term bond ETF exposure to Boulevard and others, as most of the interest rate hikes appear to be behind us. Only a very small fraction in high-yield bond ETFs. As the junk bond risk premiums have narrowed, there is less reward in taking on more credit risk to pursue yield than there has been in the past. In no particular order: certificates of deposit, stocks, precious metals, treasury bonds. Brokerage account is a good spot. Fidelity pays pretty solid rates on uninvested cash in the account. Then you can be ready to deploy into an investment quickly if you see an opportunity. The growth is taxable. Investments held under a year are short-term cap gains, and ones held over a year are long-term cap gains. I'm using 18-month CDs, getting around 5.5. Reason is I'm happy with this RAW and want to lock it in for now. Not sure what amount of liquidity you need. It seems like you are doing quite well for yourself if you are able to max out your 401k and IRA options and have bonds and had cash in a high-yield account. I assume you also have an emergency fund unless that is what you are trying to find another safe place for. If that is the case, I would personally just keep it in the saving. If you want less liquidity and more risk, I would say look into alternative investments that have cash flow. I've lent to real estate investors short-term 18 months or less 10 rates. Ignoring the liquid bit. The next thing would be to get on a high-deductible health plan, and max out your HSA contributions. Taxable since start of the bull market. You can max out a 401k. I didn't know that, granted I can't do it, but I didn't think there was a max. Knee penalty CDs such as what Ally has sometimes is better than HISA, but of course you have to choose your moments just like with any other security. Buy some Bitcoin for diversification. Edit: this comment is being reviewed apparently for being terse or flippant. That's not the intent. I'm merely suggesting to buy Bitcoin as a diversification tool and a hedge. Change invest to capitalize in your question, then read Becoming Your Own Banker by Nelson Nash. Have looked into indexed universal life insurance? I think it's imperfect, but this is what the prime directive off to the right is for. 5.15? Where do you get that? I'm at 4.9 and I thought it was good.